Greetings from the Jazz Cloud. I'm Richie Zellon, and in this video I want to teach you a chord melody arrangement to a gorgeous ballad written by pianist Bill Evans. And I'm referring to Blue and Green, which was originally recorded by Miles Davis on his classic Kind of Blue, the best-selling jazz album in history. Coming up next. Welcome back to the Jazz Guitar channel, and if this is your first time and you want to learn everything about the art of playing jazz guitar, you've come to the right place. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm a veteran jazz educator with a lifetime of teaching at countless music schools. And thanks to the internet these days, I am happy to share that knowledge with you on a weekly basis. So please subscribe and be sure to click the bell notification icon so you won't miss anything. If you are familiar with some of my solo fingerstyle arrangements, you know that I like to exploit several resources that are unique to the guitar. One of the most important yet underused resources by most jazz guitarists is the use of open strings. And they allow for the construction of chord voicings that otherwise would not be possible. They also allow for a low open bass note to be ringing while playing a fretted chord in an upper register. Now, unfortunately, not all keys are equal on the guitar to achieve this effect. So in the case of Blue and Green, I had to transpose it up a whole step. And this has enabled me to stay more in the Bill Evans spirit, so to speak, when arranging this piece. So if you're familiar with the Bill Evans style, you'll hear that I was able to reproduce some of those pianistic voicings filled with clusters and nested upper extensions. And for those of you that don't understand these concepts, well, worry not, because I will explain and point them out as I teach the arrangement. Well, enough said. Let's listen to the arrangement next, and then I will proceed to break it down for you. Here goes. Before I start teaching you this arrangement, I want you to know that you have the option to download a special package from my website that will make it easier to study and learn. This is available for a very small contribution, which helps support my efforts in preparing these lessons. And the download includes a PDF with regular notation and tablature, a band-in-a-box file, and an MP3 with the arrangement. I will put a link in the info section down below for those interested. Next, I will teach you the arrangement in slow 4-measure segments. And by the way, I am placing an index with links to the different sections of this lesson down below so that when you are studying, you can come back and directly go to each teaching segment without having to watch the entire video. Here we go. So as you can see, I'm using a different guitar to teach you the arrangement. And that's because the other archtop has no dots, and everybody's always asking me to use a guitar that has dots so they can orient themselves as to where I am on the fretboard. Okay, let's get started. And I know I said I was going to teach this in 4 measure segments, but I've decided to actually do it in 2 measure segments. It'll probably make it easier for many of you. Let's take a look at the first 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this first chord, beautiful. It's one of a kind, like most of these. You cannot move them to a different key. They only work with this specific fingering. And I'm playing the bass, of course, A. Originally, Bill Evans played a C, but there's no way to do that here. And this works because A minor is a substitute of C major. They're relatives. Almost all the same notes. And have the minor third here, flatted 7. And here, I have an open B. And that creates a minor second between the 9th and the minor third. And here we have this F sharp, which is really the 13th in this minor chord. We frequently don't find 13ths used in minor chords, but this is one of those exceptions because it is a different kind of composition. By the way, this is in the key of E minor. Everything is gravitating towards E minor. The original, like I explained earlier, is a whole step down in the key of D minor. And I'll show this. That's the 4 minor chord. The 5 chord. And that's the 1 chord, the E minor, okay? And then it keeps moving and it just cycles around and comes back. So the second chord here is a B7 altered. And again, we have a very wide pianistic 2-hand voicing. That is for piano. And here we have a second between the flatted 7 and the root. This is the sharp 9. And notice here that in order to achieve this on guitar and incorporate that open second string, I'm fretting down from the 6th to the 4th string. I'm playing the 3rd string with my ring finger and leaving that 2nd string open and then placing my pinky finger here on the D on the 10th fret. Then I'm just bringing this down. On a guitar with a wider fretboard, I might be able to keep this down and play the bass. Otherwise, you can bring your index down and play this shape, which pretty much resembles a diminished chord. And we're ready to move on to measure number 3. Measure number 4. I love that. So measure number 3 is an E minor 9. I'm putting my pinky down first, and then I'm playing the 9th on the 4th string, and I'm playing the 3rd, the minor 3rd and 5th on the 3rd and 2nd string. And again, I have a minor 2nd here between the 9th and the flatted 3. See, that adds that bite, you know. It's the foundation for what we call a cluster. And a cluster is a voicing that has a bunch of intervals in seconds. And here we have a nested minor 2nd. So I go from the 5th on the 1st string down to the 11th. And here comes one of my favorite parts in this arrangement, the 4th measure. This is very simple to play. 2 fingers. I'm just playing the first 4 strings. That has a 3-note cluster. We have the open D. It's a D minor 9/11. Something typical of the Bill Evans style. Plays a lot of these on piano. And what we have here is we have this minor 3rd of the D minor chord on the 3rd string, the F, and on the 1st string we have an E, which is the 9th, so forming that minor 2nd again. And then between the flatted 3 here and the next string, which is the 2nd, we have the flat 3 and the 11th of the chord. Another 2nd, this time a major 2nd. So we have a minor 2nd, major 2nd. Very rich voicing. And then the final one in the 4th measure is a D flat 7 sharp 9. No seconds in here, but it's a very wide, colorful voicing. And we're ready to move on to the 4th and 5th measure. And it goes like this. This here is kind of hard to do on this guitar because the strings are closer together. So, starting here on the 4th measure, we have this C major 7 sharp 11. Beautiful. So here again, we have a cluster, a bunch of intervals of a 2nd within the voicing. We play the root here on the 6th string, and then on the 4th string we have the 13. On the open 3rd string, the G, that's the 5th. So here we have a major 2nd. And then on the 2nd string, we have the sharp 11, the F sharp. And on the 1st open string, the E, which is the 3rd. So here we have another major 2nd. that's the second part of that fifth measure. This is a beautiful voicing. And then it switches over to the B7 altered, the sixth measure. And here again, between the A, which is the flatted 7, and the open B string, we have another major second. Between the third and first string, we have an interval of a major seventh. The note here, which we looked at earlier in the second measure, that D is functioning as the sharp 9. That's the second half, so we move. We create that minor second again between the open second string and the fretted third string here, the C. And finally, we have this G, open G, in relationship to the B, B7 altered, is the flatted 13th. Here we have the major third, and here we have the root, which resolves to the next two measures, E minor 9, 11, and F sharp 7 altered. And it goes like this. Beautiful. So this is the E minor, 11, minor second there between the ninth and the minor third. Here we have the 11th on the first string, the open B string is the fifth of the chord, and the final chord there it's also another form of E minor, 9, flat 3, flat 7, and another third on top. Kind of dissonant, weird when we play it out of context, but works beautifully when we play it in the context of the entire tune. And that moves, of course. I usually slide that up because if I take my hands off and try to put the next chord down, it doesn't work. So I go to this voicing here for the F sharp 7 altered. See in the middle here, middle two strings. Again, I have a major second. The flatted 7 and the root, F sharp. And the final chord here is easy to play, 2 fingers. And notice that I do this. I just strum up because I want the second string to be heard as the highest voice. And here we have the open E as the flatted 7th of the chord. Second string here, I'm playing the major third and the root on the 3rd string, still implying that F sharp 7. Okay, and we're moving on to the final 2 measures of the form, which are B minor 9 and E minor 9, and it goes like this. And it would either go back to the top or to the ending. But let's examine these final 2 measures here. B minor 9. We have the root here. Have the 9th on the 1st string, flatted 3, root again on the open B string. You can play the open D string, which is the flatted 3, and then I play the open A, which is the flatted 7th. So we have a descending bass. So one more time. Final chord, E minor 9. I play descending bass here. I'm going from the root on the 6th string to the flatted 7th on the open D string, and then I'm placing my index on this F sharp on the 5th string while the D is ringing. So and I'm playing the open G and the F sharp. And I have a minor 2nd here. The F sharp is the 9th. Of course, the G is the minor 3rd of E, E minor. And the D, which is ringing, is the flatted 7. And to end the measure, I just play a 6th here, which is leading in to the beginning or ending, like I said. The ending is pretty much like the first 3 measures of the tune. A few changes here. On that first measure, the A minor 9, 13, instead of playing the bass once, I'm playing it twice to create some motion. I've already pretty much explained those at the beginning, so let's proceed to the last 2 measures. Here I just play an E minor 6/9, followed by a different inversion after playing the open root, and beautiful voicing here. So we have the bass on the 6th string, we have the 5th on the 4th string, the open minor 3rd on the 3rd string, a 9 on the 2nd string, and the 13 on the 1st string. So again, when you play this ending, you want to play it as a ritardando, you want to slow it down gradually. So and that's all she wrote. Well, that concludes this lesson. I truly hope you've enjoyed it. As usual, I'd love to hear your comments and I welcome any questions you may have. Also, feel free to let me know if you have any favorite standards you would like me to teach the chord melody to. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And don't forget to click on the notification bell icon so you won't miss any of my upcoming lessons. Have fun, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.